Hey everyone, welcome to a new video of Russian Fishing 4, and today we are going to talk about how to learn a new lake. In the previous video I leveled up from level 6 to level 7, and I've unlocked Winding Rivulet. It cost me 490 to move towards it, which I just did. And we are going to venture out on this lake, but we are totally new to it. We got no clue. So what are the first things that you need to do? First up, always get yourself a map. So find the administration building, click on the map, purchase it. I just did, and there you go. Then you can press M and you can open it up, and that shows you the outlay of, in this case, the river. So we've got a river here, then we got a tiny island right there. Not sure if we can approach it, I believe not. Then here you got like that seems to be a swampy area. Then over here you got a bend in the river with a campsite, and then it goes over here. You got some deeper parts in it, 4.5 meters, 1.5, 3.5 meters, and then here it goes from 1 to a little bit deeper, and then back to 1.5. And then here we got the village that we are at with the marker there that indicates the center of the village. So that is the first thing that you do. Second up, always check the stores. Once you're on a new lake, first thing you like to do, check the stores and compare the prices with the previous lake that you went to, or the other lakes that you already got access to if you got multiple lakes unlocked. Here, for instance, you can see that a express fishing telestick TL13 is 16.15. I believe on Mosquito it's costing you 19 silver. If we check baits, maggots, here the price is 204, while on Mosquito it's 240. So this is definitely cheaper. See, corn seeds, it's 180 on Mosquito, this one is 161. So that already indicates to you that either make your purchases here or go to a different lake and save yourself some money. You can do the same with the grocery store. So let's check here on food. Are you kidding me? Bread loaf is sold out. Wow. Okay. Sugar ducks, I believe they are 32 cents or 34 cents, something along those lines. Here it's 28 cents. Let's see. I believe these are 110. Here it's 104. So here the food is cheaper as well. And let's see, alcohol. Yeah, this one is 180. If I remember it correctly, here it's 151. So yes, food is cheaper too. So if you want to purchase some food, definitely come over here and get that food. Now, once you've had the map, you check out the stores, the next thing that you like to do when you want to learn a lake is open up the table records, record tables, or leaderboard. You can also do it by simply hitting escape, click on records, there you go. Then here, the top one is always showing you the fish that are on the water body where you are at. So in this case, Winding Rivulet, and now we can see what type of fish there are. And even further, if you click on it, it opens up and it shows you, so these are the top 5 fish caught so far, and here you can see what baits were used. So this means that if you want to target bleak, our best option would be maggots, because here you can see it caught 3 times maggots. It also shows us that, for instance, there's an asp fish species here that's 4.1 kilograms or 3. With our current setup, regardless that we currently do not own a spinning setup, but we will be struggling if we ever hook one of those at this stage. So currently, I just show you guys, only got 2 tile sticks, and we got a bamboo rod, and that's it. So, and these load capacity 4.5 kilogram, line is 3.1. So yeah, we'll definitely be struggling with some of the species. For instance, this one, the bream 3.7, it's all caught on pearl barley. So if you want to target bream, we got to bring pearl barley, at least for this stage. However, we'll be struggling with this fish, and our line will definitely snap, like 90% and 95%. of the rest. Burbot, that is something we cannot handle. 4, 5, 7 kilograms. He's out of our league. Catfish. He is way out of our league. So this is how you can see that first off, what type of fish species there are, and then second up, what type of bait you need to use, and thirdly, if you at your current level can already start targeting these fish. Like this 9 kilogram common carp, not very wise to actively start targeting it while it's double the weight of what a rock can handle. But here we can see common roach, crucian carp, and here's some more eyed, 3.2 kilogram, nice perch, and okay, that's it. Now it's not helping me that nighttime is setting in, but let's have a look. So once you have checked out leaderboard and the shops and whatnot, it's time to check out the lake. What I in general like to do is make one full round walk, just to get a bit of the bearings. So here we got obviously on the map you can see yourself what there is, but you do not see where there are any type of structures laying in the water, like dead trees or stuff like that. You don't see if there's any coverage in terms of weeds and reeds and things like that. That for us would be good to target and to be aware of, so we can fish the fish. So here we got the little wooden bridge. Now that is good. Do some fishing in. So what you can do is you could just do a couple of casts. Let's first start off at 20 centimeters minimum depth, and here we can immediately see that we got a message drifting with the current, and then we can actually see that our float is actually being taken away by the current. So that is something that we do need to take into account if we are fishing here, that we now have to deal with a current. Let's target it. Throw it over there. And this current can be pretty fast. Currently it's calm, it's nighttime. But yeah, that is something that you want to take into account, and that is something that you can only learn when you start doing some testing and some probing. So you can do that just by setting it to 20 centimeters, or you can set it to 80 centimeters. We'll go into depths later on. Let's get on the bridge, lady. Here we go. Now, in general, you'll find a bunch of paths. Well, sort of worn down. That one leads into bushes. Here you have a exit that we cannot enter, and then over here we look at the map, we'll just walk in that direction. So we want to go in that direction and see what is going up there. Let's see, is there any recognizable path? It's somewhat ends here. So let's stick close to the river as much as possible. Running through bushes. So here we got plenty of reeds and cover. Here's some more. Here it looks like it's narrowing before it's opening up, so that will be a good spot. And moving on, here we are on a rise, and that right there is that tiny island that we spotted on the map. That is right there. So we are currently standing here, and that is that tiny island, and we cannot go there. But it is a good spot to start fishing. What it does is it actually splits the river into two smaller sections, meaning that the fish will somewhat be forced into, like, say, a funnel, and you can actually start catching a fish here. Now, unfortunately, the current is not going from left to right, but from right to left, so all fish somewhat gather in this area. But that too is a great, that is good knowledge. So if you start fishing close to this edge, you'll find that the fish will come together right there, so that will be a good spot to do some fishing. And over here we had that swampy section that we noticed earlier on the map. Now, and if we grab our rod again and let's cast it out, we'll notice that our float is not being taken away by the current. So this section actually means that here is no current. This is ideal for carp. For instance, carp, tench, all the fish that do not like to be very active that you would normally see in river currents, like a pike and perch and asp and catfish and all that kind of stuff. You can find them just right here in this section. So that is a good place. Also, we see that there are loads of lily pads and reeds. Now, once you find a place like that and you want to target it a bit better, then you start fiddling around with depth. So we had 20 centimeters. Let's cast it out. Let's try to be consistent. Around 35% casting out. That 50% here is good. And we're moving on, say 65. And again, around 30. But recasting it out force-wise. 65 centimeters will still do too. Let's do a bit further. Now I know that on the map it shows the depth, so it will be 2 meters, and then here 1.5. However, obviously that doesn't go out for everything. I would not expect this here to be 2 or 1.5 meters. So that is why you always like to test. So we are now at 80. Oh, that was 18. Force of 18. We need a force of 30. There we go. It took a bit more time, and the leader is, the float is a little bit higher up in the water. So let's do a meter. And now you can see that this particular spot, 30%, of course, I actually have that. The leader is at 1 meter, depth is set too high, so then you can start fiddling around with it. So let's try 90. That do. Touching bottom is what it says, and you can see that float immediately starts to lay down again, horizontal. So 85, how will that be? And again, touching bottom. So let's see, 82. And there you somewhat have it. 80 would be better. Or 78. There we go. Now it is laying or touching the bottom. Now we are presenting our bait right to the fish that go through the bottom. So that is how you figure out a spot for yourself. And then obviously, once you want to target fish, you first start, well, I always start first with either maggots or bread. And then afterwards, you can swap baits and see if you can catch anything else, and depths as well. Let's move on, because this is nowhere near the entire area. There we go. So on this side there's no current, but here you can see that there's a narrowing, and here it opens up again. So I will assume that here we do have a current again. And yeah, there goes a float. Start to drift. There you go. Now what we just did earlier in checking the depth, that actually can help you with currents. So let me show that to you guys. We are currently here on this tip. So what we'll be doing is we're going to walk around and we're gonna gonna show you guys on the other side. Ooh, we got a lovely full moon over there. But here again, lots of even that branches, so that is good for perch and pike. And the deep holes, for those of you that know catfishing in real life, you know that catfish loves being there. The deeper parts will definitely help. If you are not sure what depth a fish would like to go to, you can simply Google it. Go to Wikipedia or some fishing site and just type in the species, and info that will give you is actually accurate with what's being presented in game. Now, currently in game you do not have all the fishing mechanics, so if it says like fly fishing for trout, for instance, yeah, that is something you cannot use yet. But in general, when it says that fish likes to hug the bottom, or fish will become really active and stay in shallow waters when it's sun, and that's definitely helpful information for you. Okay, let's go over. Yeah, we're almost there. So here we got the beach. Here, these white sections are cream-like sections. Those always indicate beach. So let's go a bit further. So here we have the section where you got drift in the current. And then here, say for instance this spot. So we got a bunch of reeds here and weeds and lilies. We take our rod out and we set it to 50. Passing out here. You can actually see right now it's hitting the bottom. I need to stand a bit more to this side. Let's see. There we go. So this is touching bottom, and you can see that the current is not taking it, even though that there's current here. I can show you guys by casting out further. See? There we got a current. Drifting with the current, we're getting that message. So if you're casting out closer by, or a little bit close, our float is going to touch bottom, or not our float, our bait is going to touch bottom. And what will happen is that will prevent it from the current sweeping it and taking our float. So there you go. You can very easily now just fish here with a fixed pole without having to hold it in hand and walking with it. And there are numerous of these type of spots, but you got to figure it out and make sure that you're casting at the same area over and over again to find that. But that is how you can learn bits and pieces of it as well, and you can start dealing with the fish even though you are working with a current. Okay, let's move on to the final section. It's always good to know the fast route to a campfire, so you can quickly heat up there, make yourself a bunch of hot beverages, and then go back. Now here is the camp that we have on Winding River, and we explored this piece. Now we are here, and from here we'll move on back to the village. Luckily the time is arriving. Over there you guys can see, even though through the fog, there are quite a lot of dead trees in the water, so that is good spots for predatory fish. We follow it. Here we have a narrowing in the river. That is always a good spot. And over here you got another sort of swampy section with lily pads and duckweed and all that kind of stuff. And if we move further, this is something that's been traveled a lot on. Over here we find more dead logs in the water and a bunch of reeds. always good to mark these. For now, we do not have the ability to mark stuff on the map, but here is where we encountered that little swampy section. Currently we are now walking here. So keep either coordinates, write them down or something, as in places that you like to test. Interesting spots. Here we got another tiny swampy area. Ugh, that can't go through. Here we go. And then over here we got one massive big log. One massive tree that fell down. And over here we got some more dead trees. We got reeds. We got a whole bunch of reeds over here. And duckweed and whatnot. And this is actually the end. You cannot go any further. And I just got myself in stock. I did. Oh, luckily. Whew. I was close there. Okay, and then finally, let's head out. Let's head back home. We got some moss on the ground here. And then here we found a path. That purple thing, that is actually a glitch, will be fixed. And so that is how you learn a lake for yourself. It takes some time, and obviously fishing takes more time. You learn a lot through fishing. You learn how to catch species, but at least this gives you a bit of hands and a bit of tips, so you do not go out there in the dark completely. You now know the prizes, you now know what type of fish there are, you can learn from the leaderboard how to target those specific fish. You can you know now where you can find places that are like the deep spots, where there's no current, where there is a strong current, where there's swampy sections, where there are dead trees, and all those kinds of things are interesting for fish. Those are the first places that you should go to if you want to do some fishing. Okay guys, I hope that this video has helped you out a bit in how to learn a lake when you've just unlocked it. Obviously, one more thing, you can always ask in chat if there are players out there that can give you some pointers or tips or anything like that. Just press Q, type in your question here, hit enter, and currently we got 6 folks around us. And I'm sure that a couple of them will answer if they can. So we got. Okay, so that's it for this video, guys. If you got any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to watch me play Russian Fishing live, please go to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ladyofgames. The O in of is a 0. And as always, do not forget to check out the forums, r4game.com/forum. There you can find answers to all your questions, and there are folks there 24/7 that can help you out. So yeah, without further ado, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video again of Russian Fishing 4. Bye bye!